Welcome to episode 9 of How to Do More Damage. Today we'll be covering Moze with non-gun stuff and launchers. Basically how to clear entire rooms. So how does Moze support launchers and by extension grenades? Well, it's mostly through means of destruction, because this even just one point pretty much gives you infinite launcher ammo and grenades if you're proccing it enough and fast enough. And she also just has a really large variety of class mods that let you easily maintain a really big damage number, sometimes indirectly. And for the damage, what she's shoving into launchers and grenades is Skagden, of course, Pull the Holy Pin, more on this in another video, and Short Fuse, because, well, obviously, and you're basically tying all these three things together to just be able to clear out the entire map, which is what launchers and grenades are good at. And for pure launcher spam, if you're not using a really damaging grenade, the usually overrated Cloning Manning Tracker, the CMT, I hate this thing, can be very, very useful in just spamming instances with splash damage to get your rockets back, and grenades by extension. Especially for launchers that aren't like the Plague Bearer, that just spam enough damage that they can sustain themselves. So if you're using something like a backburner, hey, you might want to get a grenade like this. So now let's talk about her class mods. When you're using launchers, the flare is probably the one that's going to be the most useful to you, because, well, short fuse, but also a lot of damage. It's V1, it applies to your bonus elements and the sort. But against mobs, and if you don't want to micromanage like Cub, you can instead use the Bloodletter, because shields like the Mana Well, Amp Shields, and the Infernal Wish, you're going to have no problem keeping them up, just constantly getting amp shots everywhere, because you could just sprint with a single point in Russian offensive and your shield's instantly full. And for launchers where you never really empty the mag, like the Globetrotter, and some other launchers, maybe the Plague Bearer or Hive, the Blastmaster is free damage. I mean, you just shoot, make sure you don't reload, because it means your destruction, and you're just getting that constant 100%. If you're using a grenade build, on the other end, the Minesweeper is probably the most obvious comp, because on top of some grenades just being able to crit, you got Pull the Holy Pin. But not every grenade is the best with the Minesweeper. Sometimes grenades shine better with the Flare, the Green Monster, actually, and the Blastmaster. It can situationally be better, but a lot of grenades, you just chuck on a Minesweeper and there goes the entire map. Do note, Pull the Holy Pin crits do not receive crit boosts, but grenades that do crit naturally and actually headshot can get a crit boost. Also, about the Green Monster, it has a splash boost, which I will show you right now. Here I just have the classic test setup of 146,000 damage light speed, no skill points, Mayhem 11 for no grenade damage, and no Guardian rank. And if I just throw a light speed at this thing, well, we get a little bit higher because it hits multiple times. But we should see 146,000. Now if I put on a Green Monster that doesn't have anything else, right now we only get 146, but if I shoot for a bit, you'll see that it does go up a little bit, actually. It does start going up with splash, as it builds up the splash damage, and we also get that bonus element. You can see it's putting a corrosive dot, and it will go up to 100%. It takes, I think, 50 seconds. And also you can see the bonus element is kicking in and doing a lot of damage. Compared to Skagden though, if I spec into Skagden, you're gonna see it doesn't really compare to Skagden damage, because that's getting the Mayhem scaling. Look at that, Skagden's 5 million. The corrosive, I'm pretty sure I don't know what the corrosive damage source actually is, but hey, it's more damage. for sustaining grenades and launchers, the main thing driving these kind of builds is means of destruction, like I said. And this skill can actually only proc every 0.3 seconds. So putting more points into this skill for a higher chance doesn't really help you much if you're just spamming a ton of rolls for it. Like if you're hitting the entire map. So this actually does end up synergizing best with slow firing map-wide instances of splash damage, because you're basically only getting 3 procs per second. And this happens to coincide with a lot of top-end launchers and grenades. But if means of destruction still isn't enough to sustain like your gun or your grenade, you can use a cut burst or a big boom blaster or play with mayhem modifiers. More than OK boomer is probably what you're going to use anyway because of the grenade damage. So why not just take the free grenades too? The bottom half of Green Tree has nothing on this. It does nothing. It's almost completely useless for launchers and grenades, especially compared to just a single skill, and is a damage loss from not investing in other skill trees for damage. Be more efficient. Just be more efficient. Do more damage. Ammo isn't an issue. Here I just have my Plague Bearer in this case. It depends on the launcher for how well it can sustain itself, but a launcher like the Plague Bearer has really no problem regenerating its own ammo off means of destruction, and here I'm just using an Infernal Wish. Makes it a little bit easier, and spamming hexes, and you'll see that it just goes. When you do run low on ammo, just chuck a few grenades, cancel the reload animation to do something else, so that you don't actually reload and end up wasting ammo, because means the destruction ammo only goes into your magazine. This isn't really a problem for COV though. You can kind of just chill. I'm going to show you even the Major Kong. This thing uses a lot of ammo, but I mean, it's not really a problem. It kind of just goes. It hits a lot of times. It spawns a lot of child rockets, and you burn yourself and die because this is Moze or something like that. And I don't know where the enemies are because it's Malon takedown, but and my ammo isn't really going up or down. It's kind of just stagnating at whatever that is. But one of these launchers is just a launcher you just chuck more grenades with, and you should be fine. Versus something like the Plague Bearer, shoots a lot of projectiles, proccing a lot of means of destruction, keeping up your ammo. You're shooting more often and doing more damage. Instead of investing more in Green Tree for your infinite ammo, just get redistribution. This will cover most guns, and for launchers, just put a few points in means of destruction and you're good. And now on to non-gun support. And for the class mods you can use, you have a pretty good variety. You got the Green Monster, which is basically just Blastmaster Episode 2. I don't need this one anymore. But better for non-gun stuff because you're not going to be shooting anyway. Although you can with this comp, don't get me wrong. You got the Minesweeper, which I'm just going to use here because I'm lazy. It's probably the best option overall. The Flare, this is really good for just raw damage, especially for sticky grenades. If you want to kill the boss with stickies, this is the play. And the Blastmaster, which is also pretty good for stickies because it can pull the Holy Pin. And sometimes pull the Holy Pin can be better than the skill damage from the Green Monster for Skagden. It's up to you. Now, sustaining a grenade build on Moze, and this is an important part, depends on the grenade. I am playing on Mayhem 10, or you can use a big boom blaster because some grenades don't keep themselves up as well as others. Grenades like longbows, the Hunter Seeker, and sometimes the Gas Call don't really sustain themselves off means of destruction or the light speed, while grenades like the Epicenter can really just spam means of destruction, spam Minesweeper, and just keep themselves going. You can just throw them infinitely. Versus, I mean, the light speed is okay at it, But if you want to just do a grenade build, you should be playing on Mayhem 10 anyway for more grenade damage, on top of just easier to spam. And here, the light speed can actually crit naturally, which is why I'm using it with the Minesweeper. Not just because I'm expecting to pull the Holy Pin, but it also means if I crit naturally, I'd get the crit boosts from various skills, like Scorch and RPMs. And here, I don't know, I'm just... Oh, I'm fucked. And grenades like the light speed can kind of make everything trivial because they aim for you, and you saw I had a Nagata. The Nagata is really good, but the light speed is basically the same grenade but better. Because it's also longbow, but it's elemental, it's homing, it does more damage, and it can crit. It just doesn't have the same splash radius, but it doesn't matter when it... Just chuck it, and you do a lot of damage. Easy. So for mobbing, it's really efficient. And then at the end of this trial, we'll have a boss. So excuse the really slow trial, 26 minutes, but here with the light speed and Minesweeper, a lot of grenades without Minesweeper actually, you kind of just click on the boss and give it a moment. This trial, there we go. This trial sucks because this boss moves around a lot, but hey, you just sort of press the funny button and any second now. There we go. Yeah, so my recommendations for grenades are the light speed, these things, the Hex. This Hex Minesweeper is insane, it's probably the best Minesweeper grenade. The Hunter Seeker, this will be on another episode because it can proc short fuse. The Epicenter, ignore that. And the Gas Call.